She said, "We're having a baby?" I said, "Congratulations." Because deep down we both knew I wasn't the one she was celebrating with. I'm Dylan, 34, sitting through another soul-draining budget meeting in Austin when my phone buzzes on the table. The preview alone almost makes me drop it. "Hannah. Baby, we're having a baby." For a full 5 seconds, I just stare. The words don't compute, like a bad joke in a foreign language. Then I type back, "Me, congratulations. Just tell me, who exactly is we?" 3 dots appear, then vanish, then return. "Hannah, you and me, of course. Except no. There is no we. Not biologically, not medically, not in any universe governed by basic anatomy." 3 years ago, a drunk driver turned my car into modern art and left me with titanium screws and a doctor saying, "I'm sorry, Dylan, but children aren't in your future." 2 surgeries, 3 specialists, same verdict: irreversible sterility. When Hannah and I got serious, I told her. She cried. Promised love didn't depend on DNA. Adoption, she'd said, was beautiful. And now she's pregnant. When I reminded her of the truth, she whispered, "Then it's a miracle." Yeah. The only miracle was how fast she found just a friend to fill in for me. I took a screenshot of her message, attached it to a blank text, and sent it to that friend, Nate. The next morning my phone lit up like a slot machine on fire. Calls, texts, voicemails, each one louder and more desperate than the last. First, "Hannah, you're abandoning me. You're the father, Dylan. You're just scared of responsibility." Her voice messages came in bursts, sobbing, then fury, then sobbing again, like she was auditioning for every emotional category at once. Then Nate. His tone was all anger and confusion. "Nate, what the hell, man? Me, she's pregnant. I'm sterile. Do the math." Silence, just breathing on the other end. Then a quiet. "She told me you two broke up months ago." Me, "Really? We're engaged. Living together. Want proof?" I sent him the photo, Hannah's last Instagram post. Her showing off the ring with the caption, "Lucky girl ring, red heart." It took him all of 5 minutes to reply, "She's insane." By then, I was already packing a duffel bag. The apartment that used to feel like home suddenly felt contaminated. Every corner a reminder of her lies. I grabbed my essentials. Laptop, toothbrush, my late dad's watch. Left the engagement ring on the counter next to a note that said only one word, "Why?" I drove straight to my buddy Eric's house. He and his wife, Leah, had a spare room and an endless supply of blunt honesty. When I told them what happened, Leah's first words were, "Oh, she's not just toxic, she's radioactive." 2 hours later, headlights swept across the window. Hannah. She was standing on the porch in leggings and rage, mascara streaked like war paint. She pounded the door so hard Leah flinched. "Dylan, you coward. You think you can just leave me? You're the father whether you like it or not." Eric, 6'4", built like an oak tree, opened the door just enough to block her view of me. "Maybe you should calm down. Tell him to come out. He's abandoning me and our child." Leah's voice cut through the noise like a blade. "He's sterile, Hannah. The baby isn't his." Hannah froze, then snapped back like a cornered animal. "It's a miracle," she screamed. "You think God can't make new life?" Eric took a slow step forward. "You want to keep yelling? Or should I call the cops?" That did it. She backed away, trembling, furious, defeated but too proud to admit it. "You'll regret this, Dylan," she shouted from the sidewalk. "I'll make sure everyone knows what kind of man you are." Then the car door slammed, tires squealed, and she was gone. I sat there, shaking, not from fear, but from disbelief. The woman I'd planned to marry had turned into a stranger in a single text thread. Leah handed me a mug of coffee, the kind of comfort that doesn't fix anything but keeps you from falling apart. "What's your plan?" she asked. "First, sleep, then figure out what everyone knowing what kind of man I am means." It didn't take long to find out. By morning, Hannah had gone nuclear online. Her Facebook post read, "Sometimes the man you love turns out to be a monster." Pregnant and abandoned, but I'll survive. Hashtag single mom strong. Hundreds of likes. Dozens of comments. You deserve better, girl. He's trash. Men are the worst. I stared at my phone, scrolling through the digital bonfire she'd lit. She was crafting her narrative, turning lies into sympathy. Eric said, "You gonna let her keep that up?" "Not yet," I replied. "Let her dig her own hole first." I wasn't angry anymore, just steady, cold, focused. The kind of calm that comes right before the storm. Because if she wanted a war, she just declared it publicly. And I wasn't the one with the secret that could blow her world apart. By sunrise, the story had grown legs. I woke to 15 missed calls and 3 voicemails, all from numbers I didn't recognize. The fourth was from Hannah's mother. "Dylan," she began, her voice already trembling with fury. "How dare you leave my daughter pregnant and alone? What kind of man runs from his responsibility?" I took a breath, counted to 3. "With respect, ma'am, what kind of daughter gets pregnant when that's physically impossible with her fiancé?" A pause, sharp enough to cut through the line. Then the rant began, something about faith, modern medicine not knowing everything, and miracles happen for a reason. I waited until she ran out of air, then calmly said, "I have 3 separate medical reports from 3 specialists saying I can't have children. Would you like copies?" Dead silence. Then the phone clicked off. I'd barely had time to pour coffee before my own mother called. "We saw her post, sweetheart. Ignore it. We know the truth." "Mom, she's calling me a monster." "Let her. Monsters don't have lab results." Dad grabbed the phone from her. "Son, document everything. Every text, every call, every word. This isn't love anymore. It's strategy." By noon, my parents had blocked Hannah and her family's numbers. I followed their lead. But Hannah didn't stop. She started borrowing phones. Unknown numbers pinged my screen every few hours. "Please, Dylan, just talk to me." I was confused. I didn't mean for this to happen. The tests must be wrong. "You can't do this to me." Every time I ignored one, another came, dripping guilt, then fury, then back to pleading. She was spiraling, but it was a performance too polished to be spontaneous. Then, around 3 p.m., my assistant buzzed my desk. Dylan? There's a guy here asking for you. Says his name's Nate." I found him pacing in the lobby, pale, jittery, like he hadn't slept in days. He looked up and blurted, "She says you made up the medical stuff, that you haven't been intimate in months, that you're trying to ruin her life because she broke off the engagement." I sighed. "Sit down." We stepped into an empty conference room. I unlocked my phone and handed it to him. On the screen, Hannah's Instagram post from 6 weeks ago. "Can't wait to marry my best friend. Ring forever starts now." His shoulders sagged as he stared at it. "She told me you'd split months ago, that you were controlling, that you didn't even want kids. She's been rewriting the script depending on the audience," I said quietly. "You're not the first to get a custom version of her truth." He looked at me, the panic settling into something heavier. "She lied about everything, didn't she?" "Welcome to the club," I said, my tone steady but not cruel. "Get a DNA test, and a lawyer, in that order." He nodded, staring at the floor. "You really can't?" "Can't. Medically confirmed. 3 times. The disbelief in his eyes flickered, then hardened into shame. He rubbed his face with both hands. "God, I thought she was... I don't even know what I thought." "Don't beat yourself up. She's convincing. She cries just enough, laughs at the right times. Makes you feel like the only guy in the room." He laughed bitterly. "Until you're not." We shook hands. He left looking like a man who'd just learned gravity was optional. That night, Hannah's post disappeared, replaced with another one. "Some people are trying to discredit me, but truth always wins. My baby is a blessing, and I'll protect it from lies and hate." She was doubling down, playing the martyr. My dad texted, "This isn't a breakup anymore. It's a smear campaign." He was right. The next day, a coworker pulled me aside. "Hey man, I don't want to pry, but did you really bail on your pregnant fiancé? So the fire had reached my office. Perfect. I pulled up my medical documentation, showed him the first page. Sterility confirmed, signature, date. No, I said simply. I didn't bail. I got ambushed. He nodded, jaw tight. You should sue for defamation. Not yet, I said. She's still building my case for me. Because the truth was, every post, every message, every new lie was another brick in the wall she was trapping herself behind. And when it all came crashing down, I wanted that wall high, loud, and impossible to ignore. Hannah didn't just double down, she went nuclear. Within hours, her entire social media presence transformed into a theater of public martyrdom. A long, carefully crafted post appeared on Facebook. Betrayal cuts deepest when it comes from the one you trusted most. I never thought I'd face pregnancy alone, but here I am, abandoned by the man who promised forever. To any woman reading this, never ignore the red flags. Love yourself enough to walk away. The photo beneath it was a black and white selfie, her hand resting on her flat stomach, eyes red-rimmed just enough to look poetic. By noon, the comments had exploded. You're so strong, girl. He's trash. Coward can't handle real responsibility. Men like that shouldn't be allowed to reproduce. Irony. Thick, painful irony. First, I tried to ignore it. The internet has the attention span of a goldfish. Give it 3 days, and the mob moves on to the next outrage. But then a message slid into my inbox from one of her college friends. Someone I'd met maybe twice. Hey Dylan, I don't want to stir things up, but can I ask you something? Is it true you can't have kids? I stared at the screen. The choice was simple. Say nothing and let the lie live or put it to sleep. I opened my files, redacted my medical ID numbers, and sent a cropped photo of the first page of my urology report. The header, the doctor's signature, the words, azoospermia confirmed, irreversible. 5 minutes later, she read it. No reply, just seen. By dinner, the tide began to shift. People started asking questions beneath Hannah's post. Wait, didn't she say he had surgery after that accident? Hold up. If he's sterile, how's she pregnant? Anyone else notice her first ultrasound photo was just a Pinterest pic? The cracks spread fast. Someone cross-referenced her announcement date with her photos. Turns out, she'd posted a cocktail pic the same weekend she claimed to be 8 weeks along. Then Nate posted. One sentence, no names, no tags, but sharp enough to draw blood. Some people live lies. Be careful who you trust. It was like lighting a match in a room soaked in gasoline. Comments flooded back to Hannah's post, half defending her, half demanding answers. Then her account vanished. Deactivated. Instagram too. Just gone. The silence after the storm was almost louder than the chaos had been. But of course, silence doesn't last long when you're dealing with her family. 2 days later, my parents' Ring doorbell pinged. My dad, retired mechanical engineer and unflappable human being, opened the door to find Hannah's mother standing on their porch, cheeks flushed with righteous fury. You need to make your son do the right thing, she shouted before he could say hello. He's humiliating my daughter. He's spreading lies about her medical condition. My father didn't even blink. The lies, he said evenly, are coming from your daughter. That's not true. She's pregnant. She's scared, and he's abandoned her. Dad held up a folder, copies of my medical reports, all neatly tabbed and highlighted like an engineering schematic. He flipped it open and pointed to the bold type. 3 doctors, 3 tests, all confirming permanent sterility. These are facts, not opinions. Your daughter cheated. Biology doesn't lie. She faltered, eyes darting across the page as if denial might rewrite the words. Modern science makes mistakes, she mumbled. Miracles happen. Then she can pray for another one, Dad said calmly and closed the door. He texted me afterward. A simple message. Handled it. She won't be back. That night, I sat on Eric's porch watching the Texas sunset bleed into the sky. Phone buzzing with screenshots friends kept sending me. Deleted comments, vanishing posts, people unfriending her in real time. Hannah had built her castle on sympathy, but the foundation was quicksand. The internet she'd weaponized was now tearing her story apart piece by piece, gleefully, like a pack of gossip-hungry wolves. And for once, I didn't have to lift a finger. Truth, quiet and patient, was doing the heavy lifting. Leah came outside with 2 beers, handed me one and said, "Well, congratulations. You're officially vindicated by the court of public opinion." I laughed softly. "Yeah, but I'd still rather have stayed out of court entirely." She nodded, then smiled faintly. "At least now the world knows who she really is." Maybe. But deep down I knew Hannah wasn't finished. Not yet. People like her didn't lose gracefully. When their lies collapsed, they went digging for new ones to live under. And I could feel it in my bones. The next storm was already forming, just out of sight. For a week, everything went eerily quiet. No posts, no calls, no pop-up appearances from Hannah's mother. Just the soft hum of ordinary life trying to stitch itself back together. I almost believed it was over, until my phone rang on a Sunday afternoon. Unknown number. I almost ignored it, but something made me swipe. "Dylan." The voice was tentative, familiar. Hannah's sister, Becca. I sighed. "What now?" She's asking if you'd be willing to take a DNA test." I almost laughed. "To prove what exactly?" "She says if it's really not yours, you can prove it once and for all." "Becca," I said slowly, "I don't need to prove anything. Science already did that 3 years ago." "I know," she whispered, "but she's not well. She thinks if you refuse, it means you're hiding something." "Then let her think that," I said and hung up. Still, curiosity gnawed at me. Not about the result, I knew that part, but about Nate. Would he take it? Would he face the truth that Hannah had been dangling him like a backup plan? 3 days later, I got my answer. Nate texted me out of the blue. "Nate, got the results. 99.9%. I stared at the screen, the period at the end hitting harder than the numbers. He didn't need to say anything else. It was him. Me. "You okay?" A long pause. "Nate, not really. But thanks for the warning. You saved me from a lifetime with her." I didn't reply. There was nothing to say. Some truths didn't need sympathy, they just needed to exist. That night, an email arrived from Hannah. Long, wordy, overflowing with emotional acrobatics. "Dylan, please read this before you judge me. I was scared. I didn't mean to hurt you. Everything just got so complicated. I only wanted us to work out. You were my safe place and I panicked. Nate means nothing. Please believe me." I stopped after the first line and hit delete. Because she wasn't scared. She was strategic. Every tear, every text, every apology was another calculated move on her endless chessboard of manipulation. She thought my condition made me predictable, soft, forgiving, someone too broken to fight back. But she forgot one thing. Medical records don't bend to emotional blackmail. When I didn't respond, she tried a new tactic, public contrition. A single, cryptic post on her now reactivated account. "Sometimes we make mistakes that cost us everything. I hope one day those I hurt can forgive me." No names, no tags, but everyone knew. The comments were cautious now, half pity, half disbelief. Her followers had seen too much of the before and after to buy another redemption arc. A few days later, Becca called again. "She moved out of her apartment," she said quietly. "Back home with Mom. She's not doing great." I didn't ask for details. Some endings don't deserve epilogues. That weekend, I cleaned out the last traces of her from the apartment. Her coffee mug, her forgotten hoodie, the photo frames we never filled. Each item went into a donation box like pieces of a story that had finally run out of pages. The engagement ring was still on the counter where I'd left it weeks ago, catching light from the window. I picked it up, turned it over once, then dropped it in the box with the rest. When I was done, I sat in the quiet, the kind that hums like relief. Hannah's web had finally collapsed. Nate had the truth. Her family had seen the evidence. And me, I had something better than revenge. I had peace. The kind that doesn't announce itself with fireworks or applause. The The kind that just breathes beside you in the dark, whispering. You survived that. And for the first time in months, I believed it. That miracle baby the internet once rallied around? Officially Nate's, confirmed, printed, filed, unarguable. No more miracles. No more lies. Just the quiet end of a story that had already gone too far.